Hello everybody, Fearmy Games here with the new part of the Guild Wars Prophecies playthrough. We're not at Hero's Audience, which is way over there. The reason why I was like, you know what? I might as well start the video, in, I guess, where Vulture's drifts, which actually you could have just read right there. I just have a habit of pressing M, okay? Deal with it. I guess that was a bit too hopeful of me to try and do Monoshock there. Oh well, it's fine. But it does, one thing I have noted is that, I did, like, even though I'm not sure if we're gonna do the, Dunes of Despair this episode, I did research the bonus for it, and I'm like, oh, this looks like a pain in the ass to do without other players to help me, because, the mission requires you guys to play, requires basically, like, the bonuses, you have to kind of split your party up, where some defends the boss and some defend, like, kind of kills the, kind of goes to the bonus event. I'm like, I have heroes and I have one hero and the rest are henchmen. I don't think that I'm going to be able to do this. This does make me kind of wonder what exactly I can do. I don't want any of that if I can help it. It's eruption bull crap. And no aftershocks. Yeah, I think that one that just died was the one that I put backfire on. He probably cast a spell when he wasn't supposed to. Naughty, naughty. I'm waiting for you. Cast a spell. You just wait, buddy. So, what I can tell, the Dunes of Despair is south and west of my current location. So basically, we're gonna just hug the wall. And until we find it, and eventually we will probably find it, I imagine. I mean, I could always be wrong. Why are you guys taking so long? Probably that guy's like casting blood as power, and the healer's like, "Oh, you're injured. Let me help you." And then they're both slowed down when they don't need to be. Aha! Gotcha, sucker. So wait, the Sandrake's also a Earth Elementalist. I was not expecting that. Just mostly due to the fact that, they're right next to each other. I kind of figured, I mean, it kind of makes sense that the Sandrake is kind of an Earth ally, but also at the same time, I wasn't expecting two different kinds of Earth allies being right next to each other with the exact same spells. I think my response is pretty damn reasonable. He's gonna cast Earthquake. I'm gonna try cast Backfire, but I was too slow, unfortunately. Oh well. We beat him up anyways. It's a bit late in the day. It's about bedtime. Basically, when this video is done, I'll be, relaxing in bed to go in sleepy time. And I'm actually recording this video at a nice timely manner this time. It's Wednesday night, not the the night before or the day of the video is supposed to be releasing. It's actually a couple days early, like on time kind of thing. I'll be on time for YouTube, but I think Rumble, I'm not sure they've gotten better about it, but if it's like how Rumble kind of has been, it might be a little late for Rumble, because sometimes I upload it, I'm like, share it, it's fine, I don't care if it's monetized, I just want it to be on my schedule, but sometimes it won't actually be shared at the right time, but it's a well kind of thing. And BitChute, I don't know actually how long it takes for BitChute to copy videos I upload to YouTube, but BitChute's actually the place where I get the most views right now. Huh. No, not that views really matter, honestly. I mean, it'd be nice if eventually this pays for itself. For example, like the investment into webcam or my capture card. If that gets given back, then that'll be amazing. But if it doesn't, then I'm doing this mostly for fun. Honestly, I would love it if I still had the time to do all the videos I was doing before I moved. Like I was originally gonna have a lot of time around Christmas to record a video, but now I'm gonna have a little bit less time than I planned, but still an okay amount. So I'm hoping that I'll get a few of these videos set in. And like back in October, me and my girlfriend recorded a couple of videos of a series that we want to upload. Originally, it was actually gonna be the first time we're gonna try experimenting with video editing, but like she ended up not having time to do the video editing, and I have no idea of video editing, and I'm quite happy just uploading it as is. Mostly because, like, one thing, if I'm going to do video editing, the series that I'm going to start video editing on would be if I did, like, a Dark Souls 1 playthrough or something like that. Because of just the simple fact of the matter that, like, I don't mind streaming my many deaths in Dark Souls. Don't get me wrong there. But when it comes to actually recording the content, I'm a little less sure what I want about that, you know? I'm not, like, longer videos aren't usually the best thing to do in the first place, just for people making the time to watch it. And which is one of my bad habits of I've very much spent make my videos probably a little too much on the long side, which reduce the amount of people who are willing to sit through it. There's one reason I've tried to reduce actually a little bit of time that I have spent in videos. That's why I try to aim. I'm like, it's 30 minutes in. I think it's fine to say call there. That's one reason why I'm leaning to not doing the Dunes of Despair mission today. Is because I kind of want I think it'll probably take a little bit of time. So what I want to do is, I'm thinking once I find Dunes of Despair, assuming it doesn't take the whole episode. I'm thinking I'd be surprised if it did take the whole episode, but I could very much be wrong. Could very much be wrong. But then, if assuming it's not the whole 30 minutes, I'm going to actually probably do a little bit of side quests. As I mentioned last time, will be the Forgotten ones, because that could be kind of a fun thing to do. Learn more about the Forgotten as I'm basically challenging the Forgotten in their trials. There has actually been progress a little bit on the whole creating a Savage World setting for like a Guild Wars 1 setting in Savage Worlds, where I've actually decided that on like some ideas. For example, if any of you watching, you guys can come for feedback for this one. I had asked a friend of mine who loves Warriors, played Warrior for 14 years now, what he feels like the identity of Warrior is. And I'm going to use the idea from Pathfinder for Savage Worlds to make class edges, because I feel like that fits the setting pretty effectively. And I actually looked at Deadlands, and I'm like, well, they're technically not called, they're not called class edges in Deadlands. I'm like, this is basically class edges. When I looked at it, I'm like, they're all human, which is basically what my campaign would be, is all humans, even if there's gonna be non-human races in there, like Azuro, Pop-Up, and Char. I want to make a campaign that is basically Guild Wars 1 Prophecies, potentially, though they might choose not to, but at least I want to leave the possibility open. So that means, because the possibility is going to be open, my brain stopped working. With that possibility being open, what is this? It's a collector. I'm thinking of the setting when I sit down to it. I might try and make stat blocks for like a Char as a dwarf character. But I don't think, when I run it, I don't think I'm going to be running with those races, at least initially. Maybe if the situation where we've already done the whole Guild Wars Prophecies kind of motif, now I just want to play in, Tyria kind of thing. Then that's when, the things change up a little bit. It's going to be Guild Wars 1 setting, because honestly, the Guild Wars 2 setting does not really inspire me at all. I'm not sure if it's just because I have so much more, fond memories of Guild Wars 1 than Guild Wars 2. But it's I was invested in the story, I guess, for Guild Wars 2 until about end of Living World Season 3, and then I'm like, I don't care anymore. Like, I don't, and it's hard to point to exactly like one thing that made me just not care. I'm just like, whatever. Which definitely killed a lot of enjoyment in the game that I have, you know, because a decent amount of time playing. Like, Guild Wars 1, I spent so much time either PvPing or just redoing the story. Like, I enjoyed playing through the story. It was almost entirely just the main story quest line, but still, I played the main story. You know, this is giving me even more appreciation. I guess to an extent, I also feel like the way that Guild is once designed is also kind of fitting for a campaign, a tabletop RPG campaign, because there is a lot of like areas with quests and people to interact with that I could potentially use. I think I forgot the Savage Worlds term for it, but it's like plot points or areas for Savage Tales. I think the term is for it, and you know, like whether they describe it in their. I actually have it right here. I'm not being sponsored, but you know, I picked up this book here because I want to make a setting. I was like, okay, what do the people of the new thing that I picked up that I really enjoy say? What do they recommend in setting design and in game mastering recommendations? And some things like I've already heard from other people, but other things where it's like something like I honestly was not planning on I was planning on mostly just taking the quests and things like that and just taking Savage Worlds and throwing it in there. But reading this actually motivated me to think about what for example, like it's motivated me to make class edges, as I mentioned before. For example, like I asked my friend before getting on a tangent, where like what is to use the essence of Warrior? Because I've played Warrior. I've never been a big fan of Warrior, and basically he's kind of like the different of like armor penetration, adrenaline, and having some effects on it. For example, like having a way to do bleeding or deep wound. Things like deep wound probably is not really something I really can inflict, but armor penetration is pretty simple to throw in. I'm not sure how exactly to incorporate that, but when it came to bleeding though, when you talk about bleeding and also we're just doing nice big damage or being CC boys, you know, I got ideas where it's like, where that he came up with this, depending on what kind of weapon that you're wielding, you know, it has different effects. For example, like if you're wielding if you're wielding a hammer and you have a raise as a warrior, a raise means that you have at least 4 above your target level, which is, for example, if someone has a parry of 5 and you get a 9, that's a raise, and you basically by default have a d6. And one thing, like maybe after talking, he was like, maybe we'll make it so warriors have have their choices instead of just a normal standard d6. They can pick from a d10. They can pick to have their d6 being lingering damage, for example, like where it lasts a couple turns. Well, that one I might just to see, because like I don't want to be OP, but I also want to make sure that it actually isn't useless if they do pick that lingering effect, because that is one thing I'm a little bit worried about. Like, well, I think honestly a lot of enemies it probably might kill them, but anyways. And then like if they're wielding a hammer and they get a raise, the enemy gets knocked down, like it falls prone. I mean, because the fall, like the idea of hammer breaker, you know, being popular. And then when it comes to adrenaline, though, that's the only thing I'm not really 100% certain. That's something I can very easily simulate in a tabletop setting, you know, where it's like adrenaline, you know, it hits, you know, do more damage. I'm like, that's why I'm like, I don't think I can really do the adrenaline system, but I can probably do the armor penetration. I can do the effects of different weapons. For example, axe might just be big damage. You know, bleeding, like sword might be like that bleeding effect. hammer might be prone. I don't know, like I think that's really all the weapons I use. But that kind of thing. I feel like I moved. Wait, what is that? What is what? Wait, whoa, 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 whoa! What is that? And then I was thinking, I've been playing, Mesmer for a while. I'm like, what is the identity of Mesmer? That's the kind of thing I've been thinking about. For example, like there's the fast casting, like there's interrupting, illusion magic. So like there's some spells in Savage Worlds that I could throw in there that'd be part of their like spell list. But it's like what is how do I get down there? I feel like I'm missing something obvious. But how to bring the feel of Mesmer into the system? That's and I kind of think of that one. I'll probably use the armor interference idea that they had from. I wonder, is that maybe part of like the mission? But anyways, I feel like we're in the roughly in the right area. Interesting. Brain. Where was I? Oh yeah, but like they'll probably bring the armor interference idea where it's like armor interference light for Mesmer, Monk, and Elementalist, or any. Probably light, just because while we wear cloth, it like which is different than leather. It's still light armor in Savage World rules. And then probably what I'll be, and then for I'll do armor interference medium for the armor interference medium for ranger. The ranger, who's it? Who's our dervish? I think his armor is medium, and assassin might be medium. I think assassin's medium. I think. And then I don't remember if there's any other medium classes. Let's see, I know most of them are actually, I think, light. That's something I'd have to review, honestly. And then warrior and paragon, if I add them both in, would be heavy. I'm not sure the initial setting that I'll be doing, like ideas. I might not do paragon. We'll see. Spear chucker boys. And then I'm thinking about that for Monk. Not sure if this is making any sense to you guys if you don't play Savage Worlds much, but it's a pretty good system if you guys haven't. I very much enjoy them, even more than Dungeons and Dragons. But I'm thinking for Monk, one of their class features is going to be basically whenever they get a raise on a support, on something to like on a power that affects allies, like healing or like a support, like a buff spell. If they get a raise on it, they remove a wound from that ally. Hey, you found Dunes of Despair. And and then they can remove the wound from the ally and because to simulate the fact that Divine Favor, whenever you affect an ally with a spell, you heal them for a little bit. And that would basically, I feel, kind of simulate that same feeling of Divine Favor without, and also make it actually pretty good in the Savage Worlds context. Why can't I access my bank? There we go. But I don't think would actually be too broken. No. I'd have to play. That's the kind of thing that play testing would reveal. So how long have we been recording for? I just want to check out. It's only 19 minutes in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that side quest here with the Forgotten Ones. So it looks like there's a big gap here where we just haven't explored. Part of me kind of wants to explore it. So it's kind of following that idea. I'm going to go to the Skyward Reach here. From the Gurry Rock to see out the Forgotten Ones. At least, show some of what's going on over here. I think do a little bit of exploring. Though I wonder if there's this particular way that they wanted us to go that's a bit different from here, but I'm not sure. That's part of the exploration factor, right? No meteor for you, bucko. No meteor for you. And as for weapons and stuff like that, I'm tempted to either just take wholesale weapons that have already been converted to savage worlds, or what I'll do is I'll basically be like, we have sword, we have the XYZ weapon, if that if that makes sense to you guys, and then like that we only have in Guild Wars 1, and the only thing about that one is I feel like that'd be kind of marginally unfortunate, the fact that there'd be a lot less weapon choices, but on the other hand might allow streamlining and basically making each weapon unique in its own right. Like kind of like following that warrior idea. For example, I think, axes are pretty good to use and they pretty much do a lot of damage. Pretty much do a lot of decent amount of damage. Swords are for fancy boys. Like, one thing I'd say is that's super overused in fiction is like you have basic town guards who are they get proficient with swords and shit like that. Those people should be proficient in spears. The spears are very simple. You would give it to a guy, you tell them to stab him with the pointy end, and that's all you need to do. While if you give them a sword, they have to train endlessly to go slicey, slicey, slice, and parry and shit like that. Why do that when they can go stab? That's why a lot of peasants will use spears. And also, spears are cheap. Dirt cheap. It's just metal, and it's just all it is metal. It's the wood with the metal at the end. Sometimes you can even skimp out on the metal part, and it'll still be not a horrible weapon. That's why. But, man, spears will definitely be in this game, okay? They're not just for chucking, okay? Like them Paragon hooligans. They're also for stabby stabby. So yeah, definitely spears will be in the game. Swords will be in the game. Shields and axes will be in the game. I'm thinking about how I might best simulate like the different kinds of shields. But I think I might just do simple, small, medium, large. Might make just to make. Why are you way over there, Mox? Mox? What the fuck? What happened? He suddenly went super aggro. He went from like pansy ass dude to suddenly like uber aggro. What the heck just happened? Like, bruh. Like, that's not how things go. I respect you for the hustle right there. That was definitely ballsy. Man, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the necessarily for the magical implementations. There are. I missed that guy casting Meteor. I was too slow. Enough of that magic spam. Rude. Die. Well, I'll probably implement the wands and basically just have them be some range damage. In terms of the game setting, it'd be kind of interesting how I would determine how they hit. I might just use... Because so far in Savage Worlds, I haven't seen, like in the settings I've seen so far, casters usually just wield normal weapons and then fire. Like can cast their magic spells. Oh, let's see, there's this guy, Saras Yasif. You come seeking the wisdom of the forgotten. Know ye then that my people are an ancient race, perhaps the most ancient to walk upon this world that you call Tirajika. Once we ruled this world, now my people guard the secrets contained in the Mesa, the secrets of ascension. One second. Okay, I sense in you an inner strength that I have not seen in many peoples that have come... Hiccups. That have come to this desert through the ages. throughout the ages. It may be that you will succeed in your quest, but nothing in this world is certain. I shall grant you a small boon to help you in your trials, but if you seek greater knowledge, forgotten wisdom, you must seek out another. Environmental resistance, we plus 40 armor against elemental damage, but lose 24 armor against physical damage. And vengeance, the ultimate troll skill. Hey, look, he has a quest. Hey, gimme. If you seek more wisdom to help you along the path to ascension, seek out my broodmate, Silis Yassif. It's very similar names. And Arid Sea, he can grant you special insight that will allow you to take better advantage of your own skills. Apparently, give me 15 attribute points, which I'm not going to complain about. So apparently we're not that far off from the Arid Sea either. You know, I'm not against any more additional exploring. What's the time? Oh, we can keep going. We can keep going. It's fine. I'm really bad at keeping to that 30-minute time anyways. He cast Fireball. He didn't cast Meteor. Your meteor may have hit me, bucko, but I still got my backfire off on you before you got me. Sucker. Is at the same time I guess backfire at the same time that the meteor landed on the ground. One of the weaknesses of meteor is that it takes a second to actually land. So you can actually, if you notice it happen and you don't interrupt it, you can actually still move out of the way if you're fast enough. I just wasn't fast enough. I feel like I had something I was talking about that I was very interested in until I got to the quest and my hiccups distracted me and now it's completely left my brain. I was talking about the Savage World stuff, but there's something I couldn't remember how. Like I feel like there's something I was talking about how I couldn't properly, like I was struggling to properly think about how to implement it into Savage World systems, but now I completely forgot. One interesting idea that the exact function of this one is something I'm still debating with myself. Basically, there's several ideas about trying to basically bring the idea of resurrection signet and the fact that in lore of Guild Wars 1, resurrecting people is not actually all that uncommon. Kind of yeah, there's no one there. Okay. But it's not actually uncommon to... That's pretty cool looking. Is there any more of that? It's not uncommon for people to be able to resurrect people. You know, every player character gets a resurrection signet. So one thing I've been thinking about doing is to kind of simulate that experience. It gives Savage World something called bennies, where every player starts a session with about 3 bennies. And basically, the bennies can be used for various things. Re-rolling dice, soaking wounds, which basically means preventing wounds, essentially, that would be on you. And getting a new initiative card. I called it action card. Things of that nature is what it can be used for. Lots of different things. I'm thinking of either using that Benny system, saying if a target's been dead for less than a minute, which would be 10 rounds, you can expend a Benny to resurrect that target, because I feel like that's pretty fitting, and I think that would. Well, it would mean, the players wouldn't die all that often. But also, don't really want players to die all that often either. But it's like part of me is like, I really am thinking this is the best idea to simulate, the feeling of resurrection signet. And also it means I don't have to give monks, like that means I can get away with not giving monks resurrection kind of abilities immediately. I said it might just be me. We'll see. There is a spell called Resurrection, but usually that's a higher level spell. That they wouldn't get at this very start. But the ability to resurrect, like having Resurrection Signet, I think kind of fits. The other option is like once per session or once per encounter. You can do this, but I feel like tying it to bennies makes it so it's like I'm not like. I feel like it might have both a benefit and a negative. The benefit being that, betting it's an RE system tied into it. They won't, if they're not careful, they won't always have it. but I also feel like I might make the players less likely to use their bennies, which I think is which from what I've heard is basically not the best thing to do. You always want them to be spending their bennies, you know, keep the game fast, furious, fun, that kind of thing. So it's like, but you know, what if they start hoarding that money, those bennies? I mean, the money, but those bennies because they're worried that they might die and won't be able to resurrect. That's my only problem with that current idea. Like my thinking process about making the bennies, the fact that, you know, we get resurrection signet back every time we map travel, or every change maps, or every time we kill a boss. Usually get bennies by good role playing and other things like that. Basically given up by the GM, and one thing I've been working on as a game master has been being better about giving up bennies. I feel like I don't give enough bennies, but it is a situation where it's like I've some situations where we've been running low on bennies, and I've had other games where we're basically barely spending any bennies, and doing just fine. So it's kind of like it's the best kind of thing to do. So that's what I'm thinking about as adding as a setting room, because I think that would kind of get part of the whole feeling of Tyria down a little bit, that resurrecting thing, without completely breaking the game system that I'm wanting to try to, you know, implement it in. Chinos. There you go. And then, let's see, Necromancer, that one's a hard one for me. Yeah, like, I'm thinking maybe, like, one thing that they could do, because they're, like, Soul Reaping, I think every time something dies, I think, I have to double check. I hate Necromancer. I've never liked Necromancer, not in Guild Wars 1 or Guild Wars 2. I've basically, through raids, have, like, learned how to play Necromancer, but I've never liked Necromancer. I've tried multiple occasions to be like, I want to play Necromancer, I'm going to try Necromancer, I'm going to give it a real try, and then I've been like, I hate it. I don't know why. But, so one thing I'm kind of like thinking of giving them as a class, as part of their class edge, is that whenever something dies near them, they get power points back. Because power points essentially, you know, the energy is the mana or energy in Savage Worlds that magic casters use to cast their pew spells. Okay, where the hell is this entrance? It's probably not where I'm at. It's probably what the problem is. I think that is the entrance. I'm thinking I have to go over up there. That looks very much like a bridge. Cheetos. And then they'll make it so they have a lot of PowerPoint generation compared to everyone else, especially there's a lot of mooks going on. But hey, I don't think it's the end of the world making them have that nice little bonus. And then there already is systems for undead minions like that people can make, so it's like I don't even need to make a new spell for that. I just incorporate that. Maybe I might make additional options potentially that necromancers have access to that other classes don't, potentially, or you know, use it as is. We'll see how lazy I get. Interrupt that. Clumsiness. That Dune Burrow is dead. Oh, I'm tired. I was up a little bit late last night because I'm doing a Christmas one-shot this Saturday, which will be the day after this video comes out for some of my guildies. I spent a little bit light because after we had a bit of a meeting yesterday, and it was decided that I was basically going to make some some people really wanted to make their own characters, so basically they're making their own characters. But for the rest of them, I make a set of pre-generated characters. I made 2 of them. Basically, I statted them all out, made them however I like. You know, this might be kind of fun. I'll make this character. And then who's this Yanao Brown guy? And then basically when I woke up this morning, I finished the backstory and said, here you go. So this is Yana Brun. Long ago, my people lived in a city near here. We came to ascend and succumbed to our own petty squabbles. We fought day and night, brother against brother, until one of our number created weapons that would lay low the mightiest warriors and shake the very earth. Such was their power that they brought our great city down, and my people became nothing more than a memory. But I prattle on. How may I help you? Days, people. Why would anyone come out here to do anything but die? I agree with you, Claude. I agree with you. It seems like people just come here to die. They claim ascension, but ascension doesn't mean ascending to whatever demigod level we become, essentially. They come here to ascend as in die and go to fucking heaven, man. It's a mere good thing the statue still holds up enough to allow us to use that as a bridge. Thank you. So, Silas Yasif. I trust that you have come to me seeking forgotten wisdom. Know that we forgotten were the first race to rule Tyria. During our reign, the world was at peace until your people came. Until the humans came. We could not compete with the savage humans and were slowly driven into this desert, where we met our future master, the great crystal dragon Glint. It is she who you must seek if you wish to ascend. I sense a deep goodness within you, and it would please me if you were to succeed in your quest. Allow me to unlock some of your inner potential. I have attribute points. Woo! Now I have 9 fast casting. I'm on top of the world. Look at me here. I have bonus PowerPoint feature attribute points. Honestly, it's pretty interesting looking down here. Do I have my... I don't think I have my draw distance maxed. Do I? I'm not sure. Let's see. Graphics. Enhanced draw distance, I guess makes it all better. So we got a giant skull over there. I see my house from here. I wonder if that was the destroyed city that they're talking about that live near here. I kind of want to go there now and explore, but I'm also kind of lazy. But hey, we finished that side quest. We did some exploring. We did a little bit more exploring of this whole area. We got this middle section, been explored outwards, So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to call the episode here, and next episode is where we'll pick up with the Dunes of Despair. That is the final mission that we need to do before we ascend. I don't know if I'm going to do the bonus. From what I've read, it sounds like a pain in the goddamn ass to get done. But I'm going to at least give it my good try and see how it goes. Yeah, I definitely think that's the city they're referring to as laid to waste. At first I thought it was under construction, but now I'm like, I think it was actually just destroyed. Or both. Maybe it was like destroyed and someone tried repairing it before they all died. But yeah, Claude is right. People basically just come here to die and nothing else. But if you guys like the video, press the like button down below. If you guys wish to see more of my content, subscribe, check back in. Currently weekly videos on Friday. I'm hoping that maybe I'll be able to start squeezing out 2 videos a week. I want my Total War back. I miss it. I want to do Total War videos. I want to finish one of those campaigns. I was having a blast in my Rome 2 video campaign. I was having a blast in my Napoleon. I think those were the only 2 going. No, well, that's the only 2. The Rome 1 one, I honestly was just gearing out to finish it because I was like, I am not really having fun with this. So it's like that one. Did I forgot if I had a Warhammer 2 campaign now. I think I had one until it glitched out. I think that's how that went. I don't think I restarted it. I think I did something else. No, that Battletech. Oh, I completely forgot Battletech. I also want to do Battletech. But I'm not going to prioritize my Battletech playthrough over my Total War. Because I want my Total War fix. Battletech is fun. It's also damn stressful because I'm like, I don't want my guys to die. They almost die so often. I've lost so many people. I think I'm either the game's like designed around you losing people, or I'm just horrible, or both. Honestly, probably both is the most accurate way of looking at it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm also, one thing I'm really looking forward to is getting max level armor. I'm still only level, still don't have the full set of 60 gear. You know, in fact, in every other campaign, I'd already be getting max level armor with the amount of time invested in my, not the game, I mean, like, factions or Nightfall, I already have max level gear, but you know, we've gone all through this map. But this is the original game. This was designed to take a lot of time. That way, keep their attention, you know, before then the second one can come out and grab them and get that renewable content from PvP. All right, take care, guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.